Today's guest is committed to helping others. She speaks and educates through workshops, both online and offline, with her upcoming book and motivational seminars. Her story is one of struggle and life-changing circumstances that brings her to a place in her life where she is drawn to inspire and encourage others, both personally as well as professionally. Marilyn Barker is a leader in helping people learn how to shift their mindset and manifest their dreams. She understands how life can be overwhelming, and she's able to offer advice and guidance from a uniquely personal space and can truly connect with her audience. Please welcome Marilyn Barker to the show. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Jill, for having me today.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love manifestation. I mean, I'm a systems and processes girl, so I don't focus on mindset, but it is a fascinating subject. And I'm so glad that you're here to talk about it because all of us as entrepreneurs and small business owners, we all struggle. But tell me about the struggles that you went through that brought you to create this business where you help others get through their own struggles.
Well, I've suffered from depression and anxiety as long back as I can remember. And especially when I decided to start my own business, it was mistake and trial and error and learning and then feeling overwhelmed and letting my anxiety get the best of me sometimes. And so over the years, it's just kind of evolved where I understand the struggles that people go through in our minds with the depression, the anxiety, and just society. So it's kind of evolved to, I've been there. I totally get it. I understand. And I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I'm just a person that has done it and can relate. And I've just found that that's my passion, is helping other people overcome that that want to have a small business and feel overwhelmed and don't know what to do the next step, to take that next step.
That's great because I think that there's so many of we don't talk about this stuff enough. Like whenever we go to those conferences, we're like, I'm killing it in my business, but we don't ever talk about like, hey, I'm kind of struggling right now. Like I am suffering from this, and other people are struggling with the same thing. So to get your perspective because you've been through it and you understand what that's like, I think is so huge. I know that being able to vision board is a huge part of your process. I think it's a fascinating topic. So explain to us, if people don't know what a vision board is, explain a little bit more about what it is to you.
Okay. A vision board is a visual representation of your goals, your dreams, your visions of where you want to see your life. To me, I always say it's a visual to-do list, right? And we all make those to-do lists. That's great. We set it aside and then we don't think about it again. Where when you have a vision board, you're looking at it all the time. I tell my clients, put it somewhere where you can see it every single day as that visual reminder to motivate you and help you get into the right mindset of where is my focus supposed to be? It needs to be on these things. So vision boards are just fabulous. Like you said, I mean, I love them. I mean, celebrities do them, right? It's like everyone should have a vision board.
I could not agree with you more. Now, tell me a little bit about, so do you think that we should only create it like once a year, like when we're doing our resolutions? Do you think we should do it multiple times a year? What's your advice on that?
I think you should do it multiple times a year. I mean, my vision board classes always fill up at the end of the year, beginning of the year. But really, I tell my clients, you need to be looking at them. I always say once a quarter, but even twice a year, because things change. Things that you thought were important in January, by July, might not be as important. So you need to change it up, or you've accomplished something. Let's move that and put something new into it. But you really need to be looking at it all year long.
Well, and vision boards can be useful for growing our small businesses, right?
Oh, of course, of course. They're great for personal. I have my clients, sometimes they have personal ones, they have business ones. I have one that I put both on there because I want to look at them and they're integrated, right? Lots of us that have small businesses and are our own business owner, because it's focused on our family. We want to be able to have more time with our family. So I really encourage that, but it can help you financially and it can really help you get focused on where you want your small business to go.
because we could really use it for like increasing our sales, helping out with our finances, like in addition to like bettering our mindset and confidence, right?
Yes. Yes. Because along with the visual representation of the goal, you're going to put motivational things on there too. That to just kind of spice it up for you, that's going to help motivate you and remind you where you need to be in your small business.
What are some of your successes that you've seen from your clients by using vision boards? I think it's so exciting to like hear of people's success when you're like, should I really take the time and energy to invest in a vision board? But when you hear of other people's success, it can be very motivating.
Yes. Lots of my clients say, well, success is twofold, right? Is for everybody. So they've put visions on there, like they wanted to take a cruise, or they wanted to see their business in their conference, go to their business conference. And it really helped motivates them when they're seeing that all the time. And they're like, okay, I need to really focus on that today. And they're very excited over that. And then it could also be successful in, like I said, it come July, they're like, you know what, that wasn't very important to me. And I looked at it every day and it did not get me in the mindset that I need it to be in. So now they realize it helps them focus what's important, what's not important. But yes, we've had financial, we've had them buy new cars with their businesses, get out of debt. You can manifest and do anything with a vision board.
What are a couple things if somebody's like, okay, I kind of like this vision board idea, but how do I make one? Like, what does that even look like?
Okay, you can do it two ways. There's that old cut things out of magazines, hands-on vision board. I'm a hands-on vision board, but we have some that do digital. So if you're not a paper person, you can make a digital one. There's lots of programs out there. But what you're really going to focus on putting on your vision board is what motivates you, what stimulates you for that goal. So you and I could have the same exact goals, and I guarantee you that our vision boards are not going to look anything the same, because what I see that stimulates me for that particular goal is not going to be what motivates you. So there's so many aspects out there, and you want to make it so that you want to look at it every day. You do put those embellishments and those pretty things, but it's very easy to make. You're not going to overthink it. You're just going to say, oh, that makes me think of that goal, and that's what I'm going to put on there.
What is the best way to create these goals? So we're going to look for pictures that represent the goals, but how do we create those goals that we want to put on our vision board?
Right. That's one of the great things with my vision board classes. It's not just, okay, let's put this fun picture on the board. We're going to talk about what the goal is and what is the action step behind your goal. And I tell my clients, put some pictures on there that represent the action steps too. So if it's, I want to get healthy, okay, somebody walking, how much water are you going to drink? Putting those types of things on there too. So it really can vary. But you really got to think about the goal behind the picture. Financial freedom, what does that look for each person?
I really like that idea that you said about putting the steps on there, because you're right. We can put a picture of, a fitness model. We don't currently look like that, but we want to, but it's really breaking down those steps visually of what that looks like you mentioned, the water and the walking. That is amazing. That's something that I never thought about. I've just done, my big goals, but I've never done the steps to get there because I've just relied on like my to-do list or my planner or whatever for those steps. So that's really important. What are some other things that are in your class that you think are like, this is a big one that has kind of caught people by surprise that they maybe didn't think about?
The big one that I have is, it was taught to me, is when you're doing your action steps, schedule them in your planner like an appointment. Because we all say, okay, I'm going to work on this today, but we don't actually put it in our calendar from 2 to 4. I say, set a time aside and put it in your calendar and set it like an appointment to work on that, because you would not miss an appointment. But it's very easy to say, okay, today I needed to work on that, but my day got away from me. I'll do it again later. No, if that was to happen, then you reschedule it, but put it in your calendar. So many people tell me that's a great thing, because then they know, Okay, they're not thinking about it all day long. They know from 2 to 4, that's what they're going to work on.
Well, and that's probably the same too. Like when you're actually talking about creating this vision board, you need to put that on your calendar. You need to
Yeah.
set aside a specific amount of time to not only create the goals, but also to create your vision board so you've got time allowed, because it seems like that would be something that would be very easy to procrastinate or be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then pretty soon you're like, oh my gosh, it's the middle of May. What am I doing? I've missed those 5 months.
Yes, yes. That's why I always encourage people to, that's why the classes themselves to create the vision board is so great, because that time is set aside. Nothing else. You're thinking and you're focusing solely on that. I do them in person and I even do them virtually. You know, you can gather all your things ahead of time and be working on it while we're talking so that you do have that time set aside.
What are some supplies that we should have handy if we're like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna do this vision board, I've scheduled the timeout. What are some things that we should have handy to create one?
I always tell people use a smaller poster board. Sometimes people are very overzealous and they want to get that ginormous poster board. That can be very overwhelming. So I always say make it a smaller poster board or a canvas or something like that to put it on. Glue, scissors. Magazines are always great, but if you don't have that, Google is your friend. If you have a printer, think about what motivates you and look through the images and print them out and just cut them out and put them on your board. Any kind of embellishments too, washi tape, little things. You want to make it visually stimulating, so you want to make it pretty.
I agree. Where do you think that we should put our vision boards? So we've done the work, we've created this beautiful thing that we want to look at. Where's the best place to put it so we remember to look at it and remember those goals and those images that we want to achieve?
That's great. That's why I always encourage the smaller ones, because then that's movable. So especially for those of us that work from home or have a home office, it should go in your home office. But if you casually move sometimes and you work at the kitchen table, it should be small enough that you could take it with you. Move it around wherever your workstation is. If it's your office, if it's your home office, because it needs to be somewhere that you are looking at it all the time. You know, don't just hang it on a wall that you don't ever see. Don't hang it on the back door of your office because you're never going to see that. You know, put it somewhere where you're visually seeing it, behind your computer. A lot of my clients that use digital make it their wallpaper on their phone or on their laptops or whatever, so that they're seeing it all the time.
That's what
the
I
key.
do. I put it as my like desktop screensaver. So it's always there. It's always front and center, because you're right. Like we have to make it easy for our brains. Where are you looking all the time? You're probably looking at your phone, to be honest. If you're not looking at your laptop, right? So you can even take a picture of it and put it as your
Yes.
wallpaper.
Yes. That way you have both. Then you have the touchy feely one and you have a digital version of it. Yes, that is excellent.
What is the best way to like archive our vision boards? Because I think we get lost in this day to day and we're working our tails off, but it's hard to remember like where you started from, where you came from. And I think keeping those vision boards would be so cool to like be able to look back and be like, this was what I was working on 5 years ago. And now look how far I've come. What's your suggestion for that?
Yes. I'm terrible because I like to keep the actual ones and I have them, you know, in other places in my office. But a great way to do it, I have found, is take a picture of it and start a scrapbook. Start a scrapbook with the year and the pictures of it, so you can go back and look at it, because we want to see how far we've come, and we want to see the things that worked and what didn't work.
Agreed. And I think too, like if you ever get to that point in your business where you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything, like I haven't accomplished anything, all those sorts of imposter stuff that always happens to all of us, even though we don't talk about that either. It's easy to flip open that scrapbook and look at it and be like, no, look at how much you've accomplished. Look at what you've done and how many people that you've helped based on those vision boards, right?
Yes. Yes. So many people, because we get stuck in our day to day. So we can't always look back and look at that big picture, but it's amazing. And I recommend you should look back at it every so often to give yourself that boost, to remind you, yes, I have come a long way. But even and if you only do digital and a scrapbook is not a thing, save those and put them in a folder and go back and look at them, or make a collage. Sometimes people make a collage out of those pictures to remind you how far you have come.
Oh, I love that. Such a good idea. Now, where can people find out more information about your class? Because if they're like, okay, this vision boarding thing, I've heard a ton about it. I need to figure out how to do it. Where's the best place for people to find out more information?
The best place is my website, marilynbarker.com. I also have a Facebook page, Barker Business Services. And I post my classes in there. They're all listed on there when they're coming up. And you can see all the things that I offer. And if I don't have something listed, you can always message me and see if I have something coming up, or schedule a one-on-one. I do personal appointments too.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what I'll do is I'll be able to link that in the show notes so that way people have quick and easy access to it. One question that I always ask every guest is, what's one piece of advice that you would give to a small business owner?
I would say ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help, because we've all probably came upon that situation. We've all had our struggles. Reach out and ask for help.
I'm so glad that you said that. We are almost closing in on 200 episodes, and you are the first person that has said that. And it's so easy, but I feel like it can be so difficult because we get locked into our businesses. We forget that, like, everybody else has the same small business struggles we do, and it's okay to ask for help. I'm so glad that you said that. I think that is key, that it's okay to ask for help.
That's the thing. It's not weakness. That is strength right there, is reaching out and saying, I need a little assistance.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. I'm excited for everybody to check out your website, find out more about vision boarding, because it really can change your business.
Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it.